And good afternoon. This is the M&M Show on Sports Radio 1350 and 1600. It's quarter till the hour, and thanks for tuning in. It's Marlon with you here. And we're joined right now by CrossingBroad.com connoisseur, and he is Kyle Scott. How you doing this afternoon, Kyle?
Good. How are you?
Doing fantastic here in the studio, and let's get right into it because there was ball this afternoon down in Philadelphia. Boy, I'll tell you what, the Phillies have been playing a lot of ball here over the past 48 hours. A doubleheader yesterday, a split doubleheader, and that's tough enough on a team. Then they got to get up and play an afternoon game today. But it turns out good for the Phillies, and they finish up this homestand strong. And Lee looked great today, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked really good over his last three starts. I think he's thrown 24 innings, given up one run. Today he was great. He kept his pitch count down. He didn't have a lot of strikeouts. He had 4 or 5, which is pretty low for him. He's usually closer to 10. But he's always said he kind of likes to throw like that. He likes to pitch to contact. It keeps his pitch count down, and he would just assume Jimmy Rollins throw a guy out at first than have to throw 3 or 4 pitches to strike a guy out. So they look good. He's looked real good over his last 3 starts. Curveball was really working today.
Yeah, and he has under a 1 ERA over the past 3 starts, too. He's really getting it together. Him and Halladay are at number 1 and 2 slot in the National League for number of strikeouts, and I'll tell you what, it's a battle for these teams going against the Phillies to try to put up any runs, and yesterday the Marlins get shellacked in one game. The other game, it took extra innings and a Victorino hit to win it for the Phillies, and then today they come out and Lee pitches a shutout again, and Ryan Howard's bat is coming alive. He had a nice to see him go an opposite field shot in the 5th, and yesterday he had a nice opposite field home run, I believe, too. So he's starting to get those opposite field hits, which are nice for him. That's good to see from a left-handed hitter like that.
Yeah, that's what everybody always says, especially with Howard, because he's such a strikeout guy, and when he really starts to pull the ball, he pulls off a lot of things. He grounds out, he misses balls, but when he hangs back, he stays in on the pitch and then pushes it the other way. That's always a sign that he's at his best when he's got that power going the opposite direction. So he's obviously looking very good. Chase looks like he has his swing back. He had a home run the other night with that short, quick stroke that we're so used to seeing, and it looks like he's finally coming around. And after seeing about a month's worth of Major League pitching, and even Don Brown, every ball he hits is hard. And those home runs he hit the other night, one was in the upper deck. He looks like he might be the real deal.
Wow, what a great swing he put on those 2 home runs. Solo home runs the other night, and it looks like he's catching his groove. What did they ask you now? The Phillies are headed out to the West Coast. They got a long plane trip ahead of them. They're going to go to Seattle in kind of a meaningless, ball game. It's interleague play, and some of these games. I was talking to McAllister earlier in the show, and I said, is it time really to do away with interleague play? The fans seem to like it. The players probably think, well, you know what, it's really not, we can't really gain a full game on anybody by doing this. They'd rather be playing the Marlins, where all of a sudden they picked up a lot of yardage here on those wins. What do you think of interleague play? Is it something that's going to last in baseball, or do you think it's going to be one of these fads that eventually is going to be done away with?
Well, to the first part of your question, I think it's great. Now, I'm obviously coming at it from a fan perspective. From a blogger perspective. So it's cool to see some of the other teams, see some of the other players, watch your team play in ballparks they normally don't play in. That part's really neat, and I think if you look at the other sports, most of them, now football's a shorter season, but if you look at the other sports, they play every other team in the league. So there's no reason why, it's more of a purist thing why baseball is always kind of stuck to the 2 individual leagues. I think they do it a fair amount. It turns out to be about 15 or 18 games a year, which isn't too extreme. The second part of that is it looks like there's a potential we're going to even see more of it. I know they've been talking a lot about the divisions going away and basically having two leagues where 5 teams from each league make the playoffs. And since there'd be an odd number of teams in each league, and I think this is how it would work out, there would always be a rolling interleague series going on. Otherwise, you would have 2 teams sitting at home not playing. So if that was the case, we'd see interleague kind of around the clock, maybe not in these bunched up weeks like we see in June now, but instead there would kind of always be an interleague series going on. That I don't like. I kind of like this where it's getting nice out. It's summer. More people are coming to the ballpark, and you get to see some interesting teams. I like the way they have it now.
Yeah. Do you think Philadelphia would go Vancouver in terms of riots if all of a sudden the league came in and said, okay, Phillies, you're going to the American League. I mean, they've been already tossing out the Houston Astros as one probability on that, one possibility if they do to the equal division. I can understand where they want to make the divisions equal, but
Sure.
I don't know. I wouldn't want my team flying to another division, would you?
No, I don't think, I don't know how realistic it would be, but in theory, I guess it'd be a little different than it would be in hockey or basketball, where, your two leagues are basically East and West. So, if you move to the other one, your travel picks up. Baseball is a little different. I mean, you got the Orioles and the Yankees in the American League, which are probably closer to the Phillies than anybody, along with the Mets. So, from that standpoint, I'm not sure it would matter. But yeah, I think that would obviously ruffle a lot of feathers, and hopefully Philly never sees anything like they saw in Vancouver last night. That's for sure.
From what your eyes have seen so far, who's the best Phillies pitcher right now at this point in the year?
It's really tough to say. I mean, I think at any one stretch over the last 2.5 months, you could have said pretty definitively Halliday's the best right now. And then I think there was a stretch probably the previous 2 to 3 weeks where you say Hamill's the best. And now if you go over the last 3 starts, Cliff Lee's been the best. Now he's had a few more clunkers than the other guys, so you probably have to set him aside. And you probably got Halliday and Hamill's 1 and 1A, and Cliff Lee, 1C. It's very close. And this is the thing where I think everyone in the rest of baseball is a little bit scared of when all 3 of these guys are on like they are now. I know Halliday gave up a few runs last night. It's going to be really tough to stop this team. And Oswalt, he had a little bit of a back thing earlier. It looks like he's still trying to work his way back to his full potential, but it's really tough to say. If I had to pick right now, I'd probably say Hamill's over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, I would too. And for the first time all year, we just saw the Big Four win consecutive games. That was a first for the year. Hey, you have kind of a neat event coming up we wanted to get to also. CrossingBroad.com is a fabulous website. We invite our listeners to get there for all things Philadelphia. And you've got a really cool tailgate party coming up. That's on June 25th. Tell us about what goes down with that.
Sure do. Yeah, it's next Saturday. It's our second one of the year. We did one back in April, and the Phillies are playing the A's interleague game, an old school, 2 old school Philly teams, matching up at 7 o'clock. So we're having a tailgate from 3 to 7. It's going to be in the parking lot down there. $10, all you can eat and drink. We'll have some food sponsors, our friends from Drinkers. Chevy is providing us with a car. So it should be a really good time. We had a pretty good turnout last time, and it was a little bit cold. We expect the weather to be better this time. And if any of your listeners want to come, they can just go check out the website, and all the details are right there at the top of the page.
All right. Once again, that's crossingbroad.com. Check that out. And we're checking in with Kyle Scott, the author of that website. We thank him for joining the M&M show here. And one other thing I wanted to ask you is, in light of Worth, we had a caller earlier in the show comment on, boy, if they could just get their right field situation taken care of, I think the Phillies will wind up being solid. That was the comment. And I said, well, it looks like it's going to get solid very soon with Dominic Brown out there. I mean, it seems like the way he's swinging the bat right now, and if he can get going here, that's going to be that last piece of the missing puzzle. But it got me thinking again about Jason Worth and the struggles he's having over with the Washington Nationals. Last I checked, he was sitting somewhere in the 230s range. I wanted to ask you, out of all the Phillies, what player do you think is worth truly every piece of coin he gets, and what players in the Phillies, if any, are not worth their lick, or maybe a overpaid player and just not worth it to have on the roster? Any come to run?
Well, I think it's interesting because for as high as the Phillies' payroll is, they don't have too many what you would call kind of ridiculous, these Jason Worth type contracts. Roy Halladay, I think, is got to be the best bargain. Now, he's making a lot of money, and I could be wrong on this. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe his total contract was somewhere in the $80 million range, and getting, I think, $15 million this year. I could be off on that, give or take. But, I mean, considering he's a Cy Young and what he's done for this team and what you can kind of count on out of him, I mean, I would say his contract is by far the best worth, no pun intended, they have. And even Utley's is pretty good. His contract also was in the range of $80 million, and it was a 7-year deal. And, now we see he's slowly starting to tail a little bit, getting to the back end of his career. But also, they were two very good contracts for those guys. Hamels obviously isn't making a lot yet, but that's going to be an issue that comes up in a year or two, and he's going to get a big bump. As far as ones that are a little bit overpaid, and that maybe that's not the right word to give. You probably take a look at Ryan Howard, $125 million. Right now, it's great, but he's going to be here for a little while. And historically, guys of his stature with that body type, they tend to decline more quickly. So that might be a contract that comes back to haunt the Phillies and prevents them from doing things 2-3 years down the road.
All right, Kyle Scott, crossingbroad.com. Check out that website. It's fabulous. If you're a Philadelphia fan, you want to get there today. It's crossingbroad.com. Check out the tailgate party coming up on June 25th in one of the lots down there outside of Citizens Bank, and party like a Philadelphia Philly fan, along with Kyle Scott and his team. And we appreciate you joining us this afternoon on the M&M Show.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Kyle.